Stop letting opinions, drama, and fear dictate your pace. Focus on your vision. Block out the noise. Because greatness doesn't come from multitasking distractions. It comes from being obsessed with the mission. Stay locked in. And don't you dare wait to feel like grinding. You think I felt like getting up at 3 a.m. You think I felt like sacrificing my comfort? No. But I stayed locked in because I understood the cost of quitting. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret, that lasts forever. Grind when it's hard. Grind when you're tired. Grind when no one's clapping. Stay locked in. Because here's the truth, staying locked in will separate you from the rest. Most people give up halfway. They lose focus. They chase every shiny thing. But you're different. You made a decision. You're not just interested, you're committed. You're not just showing up, you're locked in. So today I challenge you, cut the excuses, kill the distractions, and commit like never before. You're not here to participate, you're here to dominate. Stay locked in, stay disciplined, stay dangerous. Because the world doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you say you want success. You say you got goals. But the first thing I want you to understand is this. Distractions destroy destiny. It doesn't matter how big your dream is if your focus is small. It doesn't matter how talented you are if you're always checking your phone, scrolling social media, chasing temporary highs. The enemy of execution is distraction. Every time you allow something meaningless to steal your attention, you are putting your destiny on pause. You're handing over your potential one notification at a time. The dream doesn't die because of a lack of talent. It dies because of a lack of focus. See, the reason some people never make it is not because they didn't want it. It's because they didn't know how to shut out the noise. They had the gift, but they couldn't control their attention. And what you give your attention to is what you become. You give your attention to gossip, you become distracted. You give your attention to comfort, you become stagnant. You give your attention to the grind, you become great. That's the difference. That's the gap between the average and the elite. It's not just ability, it's attention. People always ask me, how do you stay consistent? How do you stay hungry? I tell them the truth. I stay locked in. I protect my mind like it's gold. I don't entertain nonsense. I don't chase every new thing. I don't get distracted by people who aren't chasing the same purpose. Because when you're locked in, you don't have time for distractions. You're not available for drama. You're not answering every call. You're not following trends, you're setting them. The people who win in life are the ones who know how to starve their distractions and feed their focus. You got a vision, but you keep letting things pull you away from it. You start strong, but a text message comes through and suddenly you're off track. You get in the zone and then the notification pops up and boom, your momentum is gone. Do you realize how dangerous that is? Distraction is the silent killer of potential. It doesn't show up with alarms. It doesn't come screaming. It creeps in silently, steals your minutes, your hours, your days. And then one day you look back and wonder why you never became who you were meant to be. Let me tell you something. Your destiny deserves your full focus. Your goals deserve your undivided attention. You can't build an empire and scroll all day. You can't chase greatness and be addicted to distractions. That kind of life is reserved for people who are willing to disconnect from what's stealing their time and reconnect to what fuels their mission. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's necessary. Because every minute you waste is a minute you never get back. Every moment spent on meaningless things is a moment stolen from your future. You've got to get to the point where you treat distractions like enemies. Not friends, not breaks, enemies. Because that's what they are. Anything that pulls you away from purpose is not your friend. That gossip call, that's an enemy. That 4th hour on TikTok, that's an enemy. That mindset that says, it's just one more episode, that's an enemy. And you don't negotiate with the enemy, you eliminate it. You don't make peace with the thing trying to destroy your purpose. And some of you, you're not desperate enough. You still think you got time. You think you can waste this week and grind next month. You think you can play now and still win later. But I'm telling you, later is not guaranteed. The only way to move from average to excellence is to stay locked in right now. Stop letting people pull you into their problems. Stop letting the algorithm decide how you spend your energy. Stop giving your best hours to things that have nothing to do with your destiny. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you say no to your dream. So you got to choose. Are you going to stay focused? Or are you going to keep giving your future away in pieces? Because every scroll, every pointless conversation, every moment you give to nonsense, adds up. And the cost is your calling. You weren't put here to live a distracted life. You weren't born to blend in and fade out. You've got something in you that needs your full attention. You got ideas, visions, goals, and they're starving for your focus. So make the decision today. Lock in. Eliminate what's not serving you. Cut the distractions at the root. Because destiny isn't found in distraction, it's found in discipline. And until you treat your purpose like your life depends on it, you'll always be chasing, never catching. So don't just want it, protect it, guard it, guard it. Focus on it, stay locked in. Commitment is louder than feelings. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. They want the results, they want the rewards, but they want to feel good every step of the way. They think motivation is enough. They think hype will carry them through. But what separates the people who start something from the people who finish is commitment. Not just when it's fun, not just when it's convenient, but every single day, especially when the feelings disappear. Because feelings are unpredictable. They shift, they fade. They come and go like the weather. But commitment, real commitment, that's what keeps you moving when everything else says stop. There are going to be days you don't feel like it. Days when you're tired. Days when you're frustrated. Days when nothing is going the way you planned. And in those moments, you got to make a decision. Are you going to let your feelings dictate your future, or are you going to stand on your commitment? Most people fold because they're chasing a feeling instead of chasing purpose. They say, I don't feel motivated. You don't need motivation. You need discipline. You need a promise to yourself that says, oh, no matter how I feel, I show up. That's how champions are made. Not through hype, not through hype videos, not through inspiration alone, but through quiet, unshakable commitment. Think about it. How many times have you started something and quit because it didn't feel good anymore? How many times have you let your emotions talk you out of the very thing you prayed for, worked for, dreamed about? That's what happens when feelings lead the way. But when you lead with commitment, your emotions fall in line. You don't wait until you feel strong. You act strong. You don't wait until you feel focused. You get focused. You get focused. Because if you always wait for the right move, you'll never move. People love to post their goals. They love to talk about dreams. But goals without commitment are just wishes. And dreams without discipline are just fantasies. You want real change? You want real results? Then make a commitment to yourself that you will do it regardless of how you feel. That means getting up early when you're tired. That means showing up when you're discouraged. That means pushing forward when everyone else has stopped. Because that's what separates the committed from the casual. The committed don't need to feel like it. They've made a decision that their future matters more than their mood. You'll always find a reason to quit if you go by how you feel. There's always an excuse, always an obstacle, always something that will test your resolve. But commitment ignores the excuses and leans into the process. It says, I'm not doing this for comfort. I'm doing this for transformation. You think you're going to be successful just doing it when it's easy? You think you're going to rise by only working when you're inspired? No, you rise by doing the hard thing again and again, whether you feel like it or not. That's where growth happens. That's where progress is made. That's where greatness is born. I don't care how gifted you are. I don't care how talented you might be. If you can't stay committed, you'll never see the results. Talent will take you only so far. At some point, it's going to be you versus you. It's going to be your commitment versus your comfort, your vision versus your feelings. And the one you feed is the one that wins. You've got to be so committed that your feelings have no say. You've got to wake up and go to work even when your body says, stay in bed. You've got to study, grind, build, and push even when your mind is screaming for a break. Because what you're building isn't just for today. It's for the rest of your life. And if you keep giving in to your feelings, you'll keep getting the same results. But if you commit, if you truly commit, something changes. You stop needing perfect conditions. You stop needing applause. You stop needing to be in the mood. You just go. You just execute. You just get it done. Because commitment is about keeping a promise you made to yourself long after the feeling you made in here has gone. That's what winners do. That's what high performers do. They don't rise and fall with their emotions. They rise and stay consistent because they've chosen commitment over comfort. Every single day, they're building something permanent while everyone else is chasing temporary highs. So you got to ask yourself, are you committed or are you just interested? Because interest fades when it gets hard, but commitment to endure. Commitment can grow stronger under pressure. And when you're feeling scream stop, commitment whispers, keep going. That's the power of locking in. That's the power of deciding that nothing, not your mood, not your pain, not your setbacks, will shake your focus. You become unbreakable when you stop relying on feelings and start living by your commitment. So don't chase the tunnel vision is what separates the good from the great. It's the power to fix your eyes so intensely on your goal that nothing else even registers. It's about cutting out every unnecessary voice, every side path, every distraction that tries to whisper, this way is easier. It's choosing to be locked in on what really matters. Not just today, but every day. The world will constantly try to offer you detours, some shiny opportunities, some shortcuts, some easy way out. But tunnel vision means you ignore it all and stick to the path you promise yourself you walk. You're not worried about what everyone else is doing. You're not watching who's ahead or behind you. You're focused. You're dialed in. You're moving forward with purpose and discipline. Too many people lose the race because they keep checking other lanes. They waste time and energy watching what other people are doing. They scroll through social media, comparing, doubting, second-guessing. They see someone else living a certain life, and they question their own path. But that's how you lose. That's how you drift. The moment you start looking left and right, you lose momentum. Tunnel vision says, I don't care what they're doing. I know where I'm going. You gotta be so obsessed with your destination that the rest of the world becomes background noise. Not because you don't care, but because your purpose is too big to be distracted. Tunnel vision is lonely.
Let's just be honest, it requires separation. You might not go to every event. You might not answer every call. You might not be around people who don't understand your grind, and that's okay.
Because greatness is not a group activity. It's not something that comes from being popular. It comes from being focused. Sometimes you have to isolate to elevate. You've got to get to a place where your energy is protected, where your environment is disciplined, where your daily routine is built to support your vision. That means waking up early, saying no more than yes. Surrounding yourself only with people who challenge sharpen you. You're not being rude. You're being responsible. The reason so many people never achieve their potential is because they keep switching lanes. They start chasing one thing, then another. One day is business, the next is music. The next is a new hustle. They never stay planted long enough to grow. But tunnel vision demands commitment. It says, pick something and give it everything. Not 50%, not 70, everything. Your time, your energy, your mind, your heart. Because if you give it halfway, you get halfway results. But if you go all in and stay the course, you'll see the breakthrough, you'll feel the shift. The world may not clap for you right away. That's okay. You're not doing it for applause. You're doing it because you know you're calling. And this is the thing about tunnel vision. This is not glamorous. It's not sexy. It's repetitive. It's boring sometimes. You're doing the same thing over and over, building in silence, grinding in private. And while others are out chasing fun or chasing attention, you're staying the course. That's the price. That's the sacrifice. You might not go viral. You might not be trending, but in time, your results will speak. Your consistency will pay off. Tunnel vision gives you long-term success in a world chasing quick wins. It teaches you how to delay gratification, how to sacrifice for something bigger than comfort. You got to train your mind to stay locked in even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, because challenge will come, setbacks will hit, doubt will try to creep in. But tunnel vision keeps your eyes forward. It says, keep showing up. It says, you come too far to quit now. Every day won't be a win, but every day you show up with tunnel vision is a day closer to the win, even on the days you don't feel progress. Tunnel vision reminds you that progress is still happening. You're getting sharper, stronger, smarter, more resilient. Tunnel vision isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart, with intention, with clarity. It's about knowing what you want and being relentless in your pursuit of it. You don't have time to entertain every opinion. You don't have time to fight small battles. You don't have time to prove yourself to people who aren't even in the arena with you. Your job is to lock in, keep your head down, and build. You got something powerful inside you, but it will only come out when you cut out the noise and trust the process. There's a reason horses wear blinders in a race, not because they're weak, but because even the slightest distraction can cause them the victory. That's how life works. Every distraction you give energy to pulls you a little further off course. Tunnel vision is about saying, well, I refuse to lose my focus for something that doesn't serve my future. It's discipline over comfort, mission over mood, vision over vibes, every time. Grind even when you don't feel like it. That's the mindset that builds champions. That's the mentality that takes average and makes it excellent. Because let's be real, there will be days when the fire's not there. Days when your body is tired, your mind is fogged, and your emotions are pulling you in every direction but forward. But if you only move when you feel like it, you'll never get to where you're trying to go. The people at the top didn't get there because they were always motivated. They got there because they kept grinding when they were exhausted, discouraged, and unseen. That's what separates the elite from the rest. You got to learn how to show up, no matter the circumstances. Show up tired. Show up stressed. Show up when there's no audience, no cheers, no results. Because it's in those moments, the quiet, lonely, painful ones, that true growth happens. Anybody can work hard when it's easy. Anybody can be consistent when the results are flowing and the momentum is high. But who are you when it's tough? Who are you when no one's clapping? When the progress feels invisible, when you're questioning if it's even worth it? That's the version of you that determines everything. That's where the real grind began. Grinding when you don't feel like it means. You've made a decision, a real one. Not just a wish, not just a hope, but a decision that says, I'm committed to this regardless of my feelings. Because feelings are liars. Feelings will tell you to sleep in. Feelings will tell you to quit. Feelings will make you forget why you even started. But your reason, your vision, your purpose, that's what keeps you grounded when the grind gets heavy. You gotta remember that while every single day and let it fuel you, not your emotions. There are people out there who are less talented, less skilled, less experienced than you, but they're winning. Why? Because they grind when they don't feel like it. You don't take days off from their mission. They don't negotiate with laziness. They've trained their mind to go to work regardless of how they feel. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta build that internal discipline, that automatic response that kicks in when your feelings say no. You gotta be so dialed in that the moment your mood shifts, your discipline takes over. This isn't about grinding until you burn out. It's about grinding until it becomes part of you. Yeah. Until it's no longer a decision, but your default setting. Wake up, get to work. Tired, still work. Stressed, still work. Not seeing results, still work. That's how the wall gets built brick by brick, day by day, whether the sun is out or the storm is raging. The grind is what builds the foundation up. The grind is what sharpens the blade. The grind is what prepares you for moments that others run from. You won't always have motivation, but you can always have discipline. Motivation fades, it's inconsistent, but discipline is loyalty to the mission. It's doing what needs to be done, whether you want it or not. There's something powerful about pushing through the hard days. Every time you grind when it's hard, you're proving something to yourself. You're proving that you're stronger than your excuses. You're proving that you can keep moving forward even in the face of resistance. And every time you do that, your confidence grows. Your self-respect grows. Your belief in your own strength becomes unshakable. That's the hidden reward of the grind. It doesn't just change your results. It changes your identity. When you push through, you build a version of you that can't be broken. You become someone who doesn't rely on ideal conditions. You become someone who thrives in adversity. That's a superpower in a world full of people who fold under pressure. So when the alarm goes off and your body says, stay in bed, you get up. When the results are slow and your mind says, well, why bother? You keep going because you know that the grind doesn't lie. The work will always pay you back if you stay consistent. This journey isn't about being perfect. It's not about being in the mood every day. It's about refusing to quit. It's about waking up and doing the hard thing when every part of you wants to do the easy thing. That's how you build something that lasts. That's how you break generational curses. That's how you rise above average and step into your calling. The grind isn't glamorous. It's gritty. It's hard. It's lonely sometimes, but it's worth it. Every drop of sweat, every early morning, every setback you push through, that's where the real power is built. So no matter what you're feeling right now, don't stop. Don't slow down. Don't wait till it feels good. Grind anyway. Staying locked in will separate you from the rest. It's the deciding factor between those who talk about greatness and those who actually achieve it. Because the truth is, most people start with passion. Most people begin with fire. They set goals, they speak dreams out loud, they get excited. But somewhere along the way, that excitement fades. Life gets in the way. Obstacles hit, the journey feels long. And when that happens, most people fall off. They lose focus. They forget the reason they started. They drift. But the ones who stay locked in, the ones who stay consistent, disciplined, focused, those are the ones who rise. Those are the ones who finish what they started. Those are the ones who win. You have to decide if you're going to be average or elite. And that decision starts with how locked in you're willing to be. Are you willing to say no to distractions? Are you willing to keep showing up when the results are slow? Are you willing to sacrifice comfort for the sake of progress? That's what staying locked in requires. It's not about being the most talented. It's not about being the smartest or most connected. It's about being relentless. It's about saying, I'm not backing down, no matter what's going on around me. Because the moment you allow the outside world to dictate your energy, your commitment, your consistency, that's the moment you hand your power away. You don't get to greatness by working hard for a week. You don't reach your goals by being focused for a month. You get there by locking in for years, through every up and down, through every moment of doubt, through every season of silence. You keep going, you keep building, you stay locked in. And while other people switching paths every few months, chasing whatever's trending, giving up when it gets tough, you're gaining ground, you're getting sharper, you're building a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. That's what separates you. That's what sets you apart. Staying locked in means you control your space. You protect your energy. You don't give your time to people who aren't aligned with your mission. You don't spend hours scrolling through things that don't feed your future. You don't let fear, doubt, or comparison distract you. You stay in your lane. You know what you want, and you know what it takes to get it. So you move with intention. You move with discipline. You move with tunnel vision. Because when you're locked in, everything you do is calculated. Everything has a purpose. There's no more wasting time, no more wondering, no more second guessing. You've got to understand something. Consistency isn't exciting. Staying locked in isn't glamorous. It's quiet. It's discipline. It's discipline. It's waking up early when no one else is. It's staying late to finish what you started. It's saying no to short-term pleasure so you can have long-term success. It's not always fun, but it's always worth it. Because when everyone else is looking for shortcuts, you're putting in real work. When they quit, you're still standing. When they fade, you shine. Not because you're lucky, but because you were locked in long enough to let your effort compound. That's how it works. You show up daily. You trust the process. You outlast the noise. There's going to be pressure. There's going to be moments when everything tells you to take a break, to chill, to let up. That's when staying locked in matters most. Anyone can work hard when it's easy. But what about when it's not? What about when you're tired? When life is overwhelming? When the results aren't showing yet? That's when the real ones rise. That's when the ones who are truly committed separate from the crowd. They don't stop because things got tough. They get tougher. They don't fold under pressure. They perform under it. And every time they push through, they get closer to where they're meant to be. If you want to win, you got to stop playing the same game as everyone else. You can't be casual about your goals. You can't treat your dream like a side hustle. You've got to move like it's your only option, like there's no plan B, like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. Your peace, your purpose, your legacy, it all depends on how locked in you're willing to stay. And the minute you start letting little things pull you off course, you lose momentum. But if you stay locked in, if you stay committed no matter what, you'll outwork, outlast, and outgrow everybody who doubted you. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't built to be average. There's something in you that demands more. That calls for more. but you'll never access it if you keep getting distracted. You've got to train your mind to focus, to fight, to follow through. You've got to stay locked in long enough for the process to pay off. Don't just chase motivation, build discipline. Don't just start strong, finish stronger. Every day you stay locked in is a day you get closer.